Hello student. In last lectures, I have explained you how can we find electric field produced by a point charge and an electric dipole using Coulomb's law. Now electric field produced by a point charge is given by E is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q over R square. Okay. We can find electric field produced by any charge configuration with the help of Coulomb law. But if we have more than one charge, then the process becomes very complicated, because to find the electric field due to a given charge configuration at a point, we have to use Pell-Lagrange law, which is quite complicated. Okay, consider we have some charges and we have to find net electric field at this point. Then to find the net electric field due to this whole charge configuration, we have to find first electric field produced by each charge separately at this point. Okay, consider electric field produced by charge Q1 at this point is E1, and due to charge Q2 is E2, due to third charge it is E3, and due to fourth charge it is E4. All are vector. Then if we want to find net electric field at this point due to these four charges, then we have to use Pell-Lagrange. This is a very complex process to find net electric field at this point. So we have another option, we have another alternative of Coulomb law, which is Gauss law. It works same as Coulomb law. It means we can find electric field due to any charge configuration except a dipole. We cannot find electric field produced by a dipole by using this law. Okay, this is a very special case. But except dipole, we can find electric field produced by any charge configuration at a given point by using Gauss law. Then today I will explain you what is Gauss law. Before explaining Gauss law, we have some special term used in this topic, which is Gaussian surface, and area vector. These are the two special terms which we will use in this topic. Then what is area vector? Consider this shape is a rectangular shape. Then the what will be the area of this face? L into B. We can find easily. Okay, we have a rectangular surface. If we want to find area of this surface, then the area of this surface is given by L into B. This is area. What will be the area vector? Area vector is a perpendicular drawn on this surface in outward direction. Okay, this is area vector. If this is area, then the perpendicular drawn outward direction on this surface is called area vector. It tells the direction of this surface. It tells the direction of this surface. Okay, then this book has 6 surfaces: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, this book has 6 surfaces. Then we can draw area vector on each surface. Remember, area vector is a perpendicular drawn on a given surface in outward direction. It tells the direction of that surface. Okay, then for this surface, area vector will be like this. For this surface, area vector will be like this. For this surface, area vector like this. For this here. Okay. Then this is area vector. It is a vector quantity. Okay. It tells the direction of given surface. And what is Gaussian surface? It is an imaginary 3D surface. Imaginary 3D surface. 3D surface. Which encloses some charge configuration. Which encloses some charge configuration. It is an imaginary 3D surface. 3D surface means it may be a cylinder, it may be a sphere, okay. It may be a square, cube and cuboid. The Gaussian surface maybe have any shape or size. But in this topic, in this class, we will study only symmetrical Gaussian surface. Symmetrical Gaussian surface such like a sphere or cylinder. Then how can we, then what is Gauss law? The statement, before explaining the statement, there is another quantity, electric flux. Electric flux. It is represented by phi, and the formula for electric flux is E dot A or EA cos theta. Okay. Then in this topic, there is another parameter. We have another physical quantity, electric flux, represented by phi is equal to vector E dot vector A. It means phi is equal to EA cos theta. This is electric flux. Then what is electric flux? Simple. Electric flux is the measurement of electric field line passes perpendicular through a surface. Okay. Not only Gaussian surface, through any surface. The number of electric field line passes through any surface. Consider we have a square or rectangular surface and some electric field is passing through surface. Then the number of these electric field line is called electric flux. In this figure, 4 electric field lines are passing perpendicular through this surface. Then the electric flux will be 4. It is a scalar quantity. Electric flux is a scalar quantity. And SI unit for electric flux will be Newton per coulomb meter square. Okay, Newton meter square per coulomb. SI unit of E, Newton per coulomb. SI unit for area, this area, meter square. Okay, this is SI unit. And it is scalar quantity. The value of phi may be positive, negative, or 0. It should be noted. Phi electric flux is a scalar quantity. It means it may have positive value, negative value, or 0 value. Then, in this topic, we have 3 new parameters. One is area vector. It tells the direction of given surface. And how can we draw area vector on a given surface? Simply, we will draw a perpendicular in outward direction on the given surface. It is called area vector. This is Gaussian surface. It is a 3D imaginary surface which encloses some charge configuration. And electric flux is given by phi is equal to vector E dot vector A. It is the number of electric field line passing perpendicular through a surface. Passing perpendicular through a surface. Consider electric field is not perpendicular to the surface, then we have to take the component which is perpendicular to that surface. Now the statement for the Gauss law statement. E dot dA integration is equal to Q over epsilon naught. The surface integration, this dA is small surface area vector, okay, and this is for integration, and this circle is for closed surface. This is charge and epsilon naught. Then statement will be the surface integration of electric field over a closed Gaussian surface is equal to 1 over times of 1 over epsilon naught times of charge enclosed in that closed surface. Consider we have a charge, and if we want to find electric field at this point due to this charge, which is at a distance r from this charge, first of all, first step, to make the Gaussian surface which encloses the given charge. So for a point charge, always remember, for a point charge we will use spherical Gaussian surface. In this topic, in this class, we are dealing only with symmetrical Gaussian surface. Then for a point charge, if you have a point charge, then we will use spherical Gaussian surface. So we have to find the electric field due to this point charge at this point. Consider this point is x. First of all, we have to make a Gaussian surface which encloses the given charge configuration. So the given charge is a point charge, then we will use a spherical Gaussian surface. Okay? Then draw the sphere of this radius. This is called Gaussian surface. Okay? This is the first step. Draw Gaussian surface. Which encloses the charge configuration. Second step, at the point on which we have to calculate the intensity of electric field due to the given charge configuration, consider a small area of this surface. Consider a small area. Then second step, consider small area element. It is called dA. Let's suppose dA. A is whole area and the small section of this area is dA. Okay? Then draw the direction of electric field due to this charge. At this point we have a positive charge, consider. Then the electric field due to this charge at this point will be like this. This is electric field. Okay? Now in third step, locate area vector. Then the area of this surface is dA of this part, a small part. Then the area vector of this surface will be like this, dA vector, perpendicular to given surface in outward direction. Okay? Then if we want to apply, then the electric flux passes through only this surface will be given by E dot A, E dot dA. Okay, I have told you the formula for electric flux passes through any surface is E dot A. Then if we want to calculate the electric flux only through this surface, okay, only through this small area, then we have to use this formula E dot D. Now, if we want to find the electric flux through the whole Gaussian surface, then we have to integrate it, and what we are integrating for closed surface. Okay, then this term in this equation, the LHS will be like this: the surface integration of electric field, surface integration of electric field over a closed surface, closed Gaussian surface. You must indicate, mention it. This is not only surface, closed Gaussian surface. Okay, the surface integration of electric field over a closed surface is equal to 1 over epsilon naught times of charge enclosed within this surface, this Gaussian surface. Okay, this Q is net charge. Net charge encloses in Gaussian surface. Okay, then this is total flux passes through a given Gaussian surface. This term is total flux passes through a given Gaussian surface is equal to 1 over epsilon naught times of net charge enclosed within this Gaussian surface or closed surface. One thing should be remembered, the Gaussian surface always will be closed. A closed surface is called, a closed imaginary surface is called Gaussian surface. Okay, then we have to then we can draw a result from this statement that the total flux passes through any closed surface. The total flux passes through any closed surface only depends upon the charge encloses in that surface. Total flux. Consider this is a charge and this is Gaussian surface. Let me explain you the physical meaning of this statement. Consider we have a point charges and this is a Gaussian surface, spherical Gaussian surface. Then the electric flux passes through this surface like this. Electric flux, what is electric flux? Number of electric field line passes through a surface. It is electric flux. Then these field line only depends upon the magnitude of net charge inside the Gaussian surface. Okay, if we will increase the amount of charge inside the Gaussian surface, then the number of field line increases also. But if we will increase the size of this Gaussian surface, then the number of field line or electric flux remains constant, because it only depends upon the amount of charge inside the Gaussian surface. Okay, then always remember that total electric flux passes through any closed surface only depends upon the net charge encloses with that surface. If we will increase the amount of charge in that given Gaussian surface or closed surface, then electric flux or electric field line passing through this surface also increases. But if we will increase the size of this Gaussian surface, then electric flux or electric field line passes through that surface remains constant. Okay.